Welcome to my YouTube channel Science Teacher. This video we will be discussing about class 10th subject science. Let's begin our journey with lesson number 1, chemical reactions. And so in this video we will be discussing what is a chemical reaction, how do we identify a chemical reaction, how to represent a chemical reaction with equations, and also we will learn how to balance chemical equations. Here milk will change to curd. What happens to a metal? Metal will corrode. So for example, you can take the example of iron. So iron undergoes rusting due to exposure to air and moisture. Then food we eat gets digested in our body. Grapes get fermented. So there is a sugar in grapes that changes into alcohol. These are the changes happening in these substances. So what you can understand from these examples, that the initial substance has changed to form an entirely different substance with different physical as well as chemical properties. Type of changes, we can say that it has undergone chemical change. So the process in which a substance undergoes change in its physical as well as chemical properties, that is known as chemical reaction. We can take one example here, that is hydrogen combines with oxygen to form water. Hydrogen is a gas, oxygen also is a gas, whereas the product formed, water, is a liquid. So the physical state has been changed. Now what about the property? Hydrogen is a highly inflammable gas. That means it will catch fire easily. And oxygen, it supports burning. Whereas water is used for extinguishing the fire. So you can understand how the product is entirely different in its chemical property from the reactants. So this type of reactions are called as chemical reactions. Activities given in the NCERT textbook. So first activity 1.1. So that says that we have to take a magnesium ribbon. Now this magnesium ribbon we have to take, and that magnesium ribbon is a grey in color. But what happens to that metal is that it is a self-protective metal. So after some time it will develop a protective layer of a magnesium oxide over its surface. This magnesium oxide will prevent further oxidation. So it will be very difficult for us to burn the magnesium ribbon. So what we have to do? We have to take a sandpaper and rub the surface of the metal thoroughly so that the shining of the metal will be regained. After that, you have to take a pair of tongs and burn the magnesium ribbon with the help of a spirit lamp. Now what happens when it burns? Magnesium burns in air to form magnesium oxide, which is a white ash. Now along with this excess of heat will be released. So what you can say? You can say that it is exothermic reaction. What do you mean by exothermic reaction? Exothermic means the reaction in which the heat is released. So here magnesium ribbon burns in air with white dazzling flame. So you have to take care of your eyes. You have to wear some more protective mask for preventing damage to your eyes. So here you can observe the magnesium, which is a metal that is solid, will react with the oxygen, which is a gas, to form a white ash. So physical state has been changed and also chemical property changed here. 1.2. Here what you have to do is you have to take a clean and dry test tube. In this test tube you will add 5 ml of lead nitrate solution. 5 ml of lead nitrate solution, and after that you will mix 5 ml of potassium iodide solution. Both these solutions are colorless. As soon as you mix both, you will get a yellow colored, thick yellow colored precipitate. So what you can say, there is a chemical reaction. How you identified there is a chemical reaction? With the formation of precipitate. So here look at this equation. PbNO3 whole twice, lead nitrate, combines with the potassium iodide to form lead iodide, which is a precipitate. So we can represent that with a downward arrow. What is the color of lead iodide? Yellow in color. And potassium nitrate, which is a solution form. So we will write as a aqueous. Both these are solution forms. That means they are dissolved in water. So you have to use the symbol AQ. So you can understand there is a chemical reaction with the formation of precipitate. Let us see the next. What you have to do, you have to take a conical flask, and into that conical flask you have to add few zinc granules and also add 10 ml of dilute sulfuric acid. After some time you can observe bubbles arising from the conical flask. What is this bubble? That bubble is actually hydrogen gas. So let us see here the reaction. What is produced? Hydrogen gas is produced when the zinc reacts with the sulfuric acid. Let us formulate Zn plus H2SO4 gives a ZnSO4 plus a H2 gas. Along with that, you can observe that the conical flask has become very hot. What do you mean by that? The meaning is that the reaction has released huge amount of heat. So it is again exothermic reaction, release of heat, and evolution of gas has been observed in this reaction. If there is a change in state, if there is a change in color, then gas is evolved, change in temperature, these all situations you can say that there is a chemical reaction. So again 4 factors to be fulfilled so that there is a chemical reaction. They are change in state, change in color, evolution of a gas, and change in temperature. With all these factors you can understand reaction. Now how to represent all these chemical reaction? All the time can be right. For example, hydrogen combines with oxygen to form water. It is a long sentence. It is not so easy to write a long sentence every time. So what we can do, we can take a short forms. So easy way to represent a chemical reaction is with a word equation. So let us start with the word equation. Hydrogen plus oxygen gives a water. What I have done here, the reactants I have written on the left hand side and product is written on the right hand side, and both are connected with an arrow mark. Arrowhead always points towards the product. That means it gives the direction of a reaction. So hydrogen combines with oxygen to form water. This is again a long sentence. So what we can do instead, we can represent these words with symbols or chemical formula. What is the symbol for hydrogen? Symbol for hydrogen is a H. But you should write it in a molecular form, that is H2, and the symbol for oxygen is a O. O is represented with the O2. So again water is represented with the H2O. This is called as a skeletal equation. That means the number of atoms on the reactant side and product side are not balanced. So this type of unbalanced chemical equation are known as skeletal equations. So here what we are writing, reactant on the left hand side and product on the right hand side. So what do you mean by reactant? Let us see that. Reactant is a substance that undergoes change in a chemical reaction, or reactants are the substances that undergo change in chemical reaction. So what happens to this hydrogen and oxygen? They are combining to form entirely different substance called as water. So hydrogen and oxygen are reactants, and water which is formed as a result of chemical reaction, that is called as a product. So what you can say, what is a product? Product is a substance that is formed due to a chemical reaction. So reactants are written on the left hand side and product is. What all things should be there in a chemical equation? So always you have to remember, whenever you are writing a chemical equation, it should carry all the information regarding a chemical reaction. Whenever you are representing a chemical reaction with a chemical equation, you have to include all the information regarding the reaction, and you have to always represent a true chemical change. That means only possible reactions are informed with the help of a chemical equation. That means you have to write only the changes which occur, possible reactions, only that things you have to represent. For example, see, this gold Au will not react with oxygen. So you cannot represent this equation. So this is not possible. You can't represent this. Okay. So this is how you have to include only a true chemical change. So, and one more thing you have to remember, it should always be balanced. So for example, let me take the example of hydrogen plus oxygen forms water. Here on the reactant side, 2 atoms of hydrogen, product side 2 atoms of hydrogen. On the reactant side 2 atoms of oxygen, but on the product side only 1 atom of oxygen. So you have to balance it. It becomes 2H2O. Now hydrogen has become 4. So I wrote 2 in front of H2. Now it is balanced. So this is how you can balance. Let us see that in detail in next session. So it should be molecular always. Just here you look at this. So H2 I wrote. You should not write H or O. H is the symbol of hydrogen, but it is atomic form. So molecular form is H2. You have to mention H2. And it should show the change in temperature. If change in temperature is observed in the chemical reaction, then you have to mention that. Now in how we can conclude this thing, that is symbolic representation of a chemical reaction using chemical formulae of the substances involved in the reaction is called a chemical equation. So what is a chemical equation? If you are asked, you have to write symbolic representation of a chemical reaction using chemical formulae of the substances involved in the reaction. So this chemical form, what is a chemical formula? You already learnt in class 9. Now we can see how to write the chemical equation, the steps involved in writing a chemical equation. First you need to write a skeletal equation. What is a skeletal equation? We already discussed about that, that is unbalanced chemical equation. So we are writing the elements or the substances involved in the reaction. Reactants are always included in the left hand side and product on the right hand side. Now along with that, we have to also mention the physical states of all the reactants and products involved in the reaction. So for solid we will write a S, and for liquid we will write a L, and for a gas we will write a G. These are the symbols used. And for aqueous solution, you have to mention AQ. And what is the meaning of aqueous solution? That is, the substance is dissolved in a water. And specific conditions for the reaction are written above and below the arrow mark. So take the example of photosynthesis, then you can understand that easily. Carbon dioxide plus water gives glucose C6H12O6 plus H2O plus O2. Here carbon dioxide and water combine in presence of sunlight. So these are the specific conditions for the reaction. If the reaction has to occur, it will occur only in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. So the specific conditions for the reaction to happen, that is mentioned always above and below the arrow mark. Now next is how to represent evolution of gas. Gas is evolved in a reaction. How to represent that? With an upward arrow. And precipitate formation, that is mentioned along with the downward arrow. For example, you can understand this with the help of one example written over here. Calcium carbonate forms calcium oxide and carbon dioxide on heating. So you have to represent heating with a triangle symbol. So calcium carbonate on heating forms a calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide evolved. So we are mentioning that with the upward arrow. And silver nitrate combines with sodium chloride to form silver chloride, which is a precipitate. So we are mentioning that with the help of downward arrow. And aqueous solution of sodium nitrate is formed. So you are including AQ symbol for a sodium nitrate. Let us see why we have to balance a chemical equation. I already told you, after writing skeletal equation you need to balance it. Why we have to balance it? So that is to satisfy law of conservation of mass. Last year you learnt about law of conservation of mass. What it says? It says that mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. If it is so, then the mass of the reactant should be equal to mass of the products. Reactants mass should be equal to mass of the product. When it becomes possible only if number of atoms on the reactant side is equal to number of atoms on the product side. So what we are doing actually while balancing a chemical equation, we are making the number of atoms of each element on the reactant side and product side equal. So why we have to balance a chemical equation? To satisfy law of conservation of mass. Okay, so why we have to balance the chemical equation? To satisfy law of conservation of mass. What it says? It says that always whenever there is a chemical reaction, mass can neither be created nor be destroyed. This iron Fe is a solid metal, it's a metal, so we will mention S symbol here. And water is a gas, steam, it is a steam, so G symbol. And Fe3O4 is a solid and H2 is a gas. These are the symbols we have to mention. Now how to balance this? So you have to search for the compound that is having maximum number of atoms. You can see here Fe3O4 is having maximum number of atoms. In this particularly oxygen is having 4 atoms. First step you have to do is you have to draw boxes over these chemical formulae. Why we are doing that? So that we are not altering the number of atoms in this particular formula. So what you can do, instead you can add coefficients in front of this formula. So you are not altering these numbers. Fe3O4, you can't alter the number of Fe in a Fe3, you can't change that. So what you can do instead, you can add some coefficients here. So let us see how to do this. First one is what you have to do, you have to draw boxes. Then you have to start balancing with the compound that contains maximum number of atoms. So let us see here, let us write. At the beginning you have to do like this. After practicing, you can do it very easily without drawing columns. So element, which all elements are involved? Iron, hydrogen and oxygen are involved here. So reactant side, how many iron atoms are there? Only 1. And product side, there are 3. And hydrogen, how many are there on the reactant side? 2. And on the product side, it is again 2. And what about oxygen? Oxygen is only 1 on the reactant side, whereas on the product side, it is a 4. How to make it equal on both sides? You will make it a 4 by multiplying with the 4. So in front of what I have to write? I have to write a 4. So oxygen is balanced now. What about hydrogen? Hydrogen has become 8. As soon as I write, as soon as I write 4 in front of water, the hydrogen atom has been multiplied into 8. Again here also I need to mention 4. Then only it will become 8. So in front of hydrogen we have to write 4. Now let us see whether it is balanced. No. Again iron number is not balanced. So let us multiply with the 3 here also. Then it will become equal. So our equation becomes 3Fe, so 3Fe plus 4H2O gives Fe3O4 plus 4H2. This is our equation. Again, I need to mention the physical state symbols. Fe is solid, water is a gas, and Fe3O4 is a solid and hydrogen is a gas. This is the balanced chemical. You have to make it 6 on both the sides. How you can make it 6? You multiply both the number, it becomes a 6. So here in front of NH3 you write 2 and in front of H2 you write a 2. So then it becomes a balanced. So this is the balanced chemical equation for third question. And fourth question, BaCl2, barium chloride, combines with aluminium sulfate to form barium sulfate and aluminium trichloride. So let us see here, barium chloride is a aqueous solution. So let us mention AQ here. And aluminium sulfate again solution form. So AQ, and barium sulfate is a precipitate. So you have to mention yes. And aluminium trichloride is a aqueous. So you have to mention it as a AQ. And again we have to balance it here. Sulfate ions are the 3 times, whereas here only 1. So let us write 3 in front of barium. So on the reactant side also you have to write a 3 in front of barium. Now chlorine has become 6 on the reactant side. Product side also you have to make it 6. Now it is already balanced. 3BaCl2 plus Al2SO4 whole thrice gives 3BaSO4 plus 2AlCl3. Now next let us take a fifth question. Lead nitrate on heating. So heating symbol should be there above the arrow mark. On heating forms lead oxide and nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen. These are the gases. This again we are going to learn in decomposition reaction, and lead oxide is a solid. There we will learn it in detail. So this is a solid. So lead nitrate decomposes on heating to form lead oxide and nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. So let us see how to balance it. Always remember, whenever you are balancing, balance the maximum number of atoms. So NO3 hold twice means N is 2, here only 1 is there. So let us write 2 here, and let us write 2 here also, and then it becomes 4 this side. So let us see whether it is balanced or not. 2 PbNO3 whole twice gives 2 PbO. So let this balanced. And what about nitrogen? 2 into 2 is 4. Again 4 here, 4 N. And what about oxygen? 2 plus 8, 10 plus 2, 12. Here 3 into 6 into 2. That 3 into 2, 6, 6 into 2, 12. So it is also balanced. Now let us see. Let's practice some of the equations to balance the chemical equations. Let us see the first equation. Hydrochloric acid combines with calcium carbonate to form calcium chloride, water and carbon dioxide. Let us start balancing it. So first you observe this, what is the change? Oxygen is 3 on the reactant side and 3 on the product side also, there are 3. So no need to balance oxygen. What we have to balance here? We have to balance only the hydrogen and chlorine. So here hydrogen is a 2 and a chlorine also 2. Only that you need to balance. So here you will write 2 on the reactant side, then it is balanced already. Now next question is sodium combines with water to form sodium hydroxide and hydrogen. Here only hydrogen you need to balance. So how you can balance it? See, whenever there is a confusion about number of H and OH, you need to split water molecule. So only one H and one OH is there. You have to make it to 2H. So how you can make it? Add 2 in front of water. Now you got 2H. Along with that you got 2OH also. You have to write 2 in front of NaOH. Again you have to write 2 in front of sodium. Now it is balanced. Now next thing is nitrogen gas combines with hydrogen gas. You have to mention the symbols, physical state symbols. So all are gases, and here whenever there are 2 atoms on the reactant side and 3 on the product side, you have to make it equal by making it 6. So 2NH3 and 3H2. Now it is balanced. Next is sodium combines with chlorine. Chlorine is always a gas and sodium is a solid. So now here chlorine is a 2 on the reactant side and 1 on the product side. Make it equal by writing 2. Then you have to make a sodium also 2. Now 2Na plus Cl2 gives a 2NaCl. Next question is Fe combines with a steam to form Fe3O4 and a hydrogen. So let us make it equal 3Fe and Fe3 and H2O. Here O is only 1 and this side 4. So let us write 4 here. Now hydrogen has become 8. Here also we have to make it 8. Now it is balanced. Let us write the symbols also. Iron is a solid and water is a gaseous form, and this is again solid and this is a gas. So we mentioned all the physical states, and also the number of atoms on the reactant side and product side are equal. Now it is a balanced chemical equation. Next question is zinc sulfide combines with oxygen to form zinc oxide and sulfur dioxide. Now oxygen is not balanced. How many oxygen are there on the product side? 3, and reactant side only 2. So let us make it 6. Here also 2. Now you have to write 2 here, 2 zinc sulfide. Now what happened? You see it has become 2S. So you have to write 2 here. Now you can see you have to write 2 this side also. 2ZNS combines with 3O2 to form 2ZNO. Zn is 2, S is 2, oxygen is 6, 3 into 2, 6. This side also 2 plus 4, 6. Now it is balanced. Next is zinc combines with the silver nitrate to form zinc nitrate and silver. Now you see nitrate ions are 2, both the sides, zinc is 1, silver is 1. So that means it is already balanced. Only you need to mention the physical state. Zinc is a metal, so it is solid, and this is a aqueous solution, and this again aqueous solution, and silver is a solid. So this is a balanced chemical equation. Now copper oxide combines with ammonia. Ammonia is a gas, copper oxide is a solid, and copper is solid, nitrogen is a gas, and water is a liquid. Now NH3, H is a 3 here, here only 2. So what I told you, you have to make it a 6. So I will write a 2NH3 and here 3H2O, and O is a 3. So you need to write a 3 in front of copper oxide, 3CuO, and here again 3. Now it is a balanced. Now next question is MnO2 combines with HCl to form MnCl2 plus water plus chlorine. Now MnO2 1 Mn, here also 1 Mn, and chlorine is not balanced. Chlorine 4 on the product side. So reactant side also you need to make it a 4 HCl. Now H has become 4, here only 2. So 2H2O. Now it is a balanced. Next, NCERT textbook. So there they asked, why should a magnesium ribbon be cleaned before burning in air? I already told you that magnesium is a self-protective metal. When it is exposed to air, it forms a protective layer of magnesium oxide. If it is not removed, it will be very difficult to burn magnesium ribbon. So what you have to write? To remove the magnesium oxide layer from the ribbon, which may prevent or slow down the burning of magnesium ribbon. Why we have to burn the magnesium ribbon? To see the reaction. Now why we have to clean the magnesium ribbon before burning in air? To remove the magnesium oxide layer from the ribbon, which may prevent or slow down the burning of magnesium ribbon. This answer you need to write. Next question. Let us see the next. Let us take the pen. Okay. Hydrogen H2 plus Cl2 forms HCl. I told you have to make it equal on both the sides. And what is this? This is a gas, and hydrogen also is a gas. HCl is again a gas. Now next is barium chloride combines with aluminum sulfate. What is the chemical formula for barium chloride? BaCl2. It is a aqueous solution, and aluminum sulfate is Al2SO4 whole thrice. This is again aqueous solution that forms BaSO4, which is a precipitate. You can mention it with the help of downward arrow, and aluminum trichloride AlCl3. Now this precipitate you can mention it as solid also, or with the downward arrow, and aluminum trichloride is a aqueous, so you need to mention AQ here. Now how to balance it? Al2 here, and here S chlorine is a 2 and that side a 3. So we will make the chlorine a 6 on both the sides. So let us write a 3. SO4 is 3 times, here only 1. So make it a 3 both the sides. Now let us see whether it is balanced or not. Yes, it is balanced already. Now next question is sodium combines with water to form sodium hydroxide and hydrogen. Sodium symbol is a Na plus water, formula is H2O, that forms sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen. Here again there is a confusion about OH. So let us split this H2O. So H is 2 times. So let us take 2 water molecules here, and then OH becomes 2 and Na also becomes 2. And what is the physical state? Sodium is a metal, it is solid, water is a liquid, and NaOH is a solution, and hydrogen is a gas. Now let us go to the next question given in the NCERT. textbook. Let us take the pen. So barium chloride equation is BaCl2 and it is a aqueous solution, combines with sodium sulfate. Chemical formula Na2SO4. It is again a solution. So they form insoluble barium sulfate, means it is a precipitate. What is the meaning of precipitate? It is insoluble solution. So let us see here, this is precipitate, okay, or else you can mention it as a S, barium sulfate plus a sodium chloride. It is a solution, so let us mention AQ here. So let us see whether it is balanced or not. Sodium is 2 on the reactant side, product side only 1, so let us make it equal. Now chlorine is 2, 2. Now it is already balanced. Now next question, sodium hydroxide solution in water, means it is aqueous. Let us write the chemical formula for sodium hydroxide, NaOH aqueous, plus hydrochloric acid solution. Solution means it is a aqueous. Produce a sodium chloride solution. Again sodium chloride solution. So aqueous plus water, which is a liquid. Now how to balance it? HCl, Cl1, but H2, hydrogen is 2. Now here H2O, see, OH, one OH and one H becomes H2O. So it is balanced NaCl. This is already balanced. Only you need to mention the state symbols. So let us go to the next question. Right. Hydrogen gas combines with nitrogen gas to form ammonia. So how to write the symbol for hydrogen? I told you, you have to mention the molecular formula. So it is a gas combines with the nitrogen gas to form ammonia, NH3. This is again a gas. Now make it 6 on both the sides. I told you the trick how to do it. So 2 NH3 and 3 H2. This is already balanced now. Next is hydrogen sulfide. What is the chemical formula? H2S plus oxygen burns in air. Air is a gas. H2S is a gas. Combines with air to form water and sulfur dioxide, H2O plus SO2. SO2 is a gas, H2O is a liquid. Let us balance this. H2S and H2O, hydrogen is balanced. SO2, that is also balanced. But oxygen, let us see, on the reactant side it is only 2, whereas on the product side it is a 3. So how to balance it? So you need to balance it. 2H2O. Let us write 2H2O. Here also 2. And what happens to the oxygen now? 2 plus 2, 4. And S also has become 2. So I have to mention 2 here. 2 into 2, 4 plus 2, 6. So let me make it 3O2. Now it is already balanced. Now next question, barium chloride reacts with the aluminum sulfate to give aluminum chloride and a precipitate of barium sulfate. So let us write the chemical formula for the elements involved. Barium chloride BaCl2 plus aluminum sulfate Al2SO4 whole thrice gives aluminum chloride AlCl3 plus barium sulfate. Barium sulfate is a precipitate. You can mention it either with the downward arrow or with S. And aluminum chloride is a solution. So AQ, aluminum sulfate is a solution AQ, and barium chloride is a solution AQ. Now balance it. How to balance? Al2SO4. So 2AlCl3, you have to mention it here. And I told you already, if on the product side 3 and reactant side 2, you have to make it 6. So let us make the number of chlorine 6 both the sides. So I wrote already here 2. So chlorine has become 6 on both the sides. Now next is aluminium is 2 here. Here on the product side also 2. What about sulfate ion? Sulfate ion is a 3 on the reactant side, whereas only 1 on the product side. Let us make it 3 on both the sides. Now it is balanced. Now next is potassium metal, that is a solid, reacts with water which is a liquid to form potassium hydroxide solution, KOH solution. So it is a AQ plus a hydrogen gas. Now let us see here how to balance hydrogen. So here let us split water molecule. So only one H is there, make it 2H, then OH becomes 2. So you have to balance it also. So now it is a balanced chemical equation. Let us go to the next slide. Now the fifth question, write balanced chemical equation for the following reactions. First question says like this: nitric acid combines with the calcium hydroxide to form calcium nitrate and water. So how to balance it? Let us see. So only hydrogen, water you need to balance. Let us balance it. It will become 2 here. The NO3 hold twice. So I will make it 2 on the reactant side also. So 2HNO3 plus. So let us write it properly. So 2HNO3 plus CaOH whole twice gives CaNO3 whole twice plus 2H2O. Let us check whether it is balanced or not. So you might have confusion about OH ion. So let us write it OH and OH, 1H2O, and 2H we got from HNO3. So here also one more water molecule, so 2 water molecules and nitrate ions. Now it is balanced. Next question, NaOH, sodium hydroxide combines with sulfuric acid to form sodium sulfate and water. So here sodium hydroxide is aqueous, H2SO4 is aqueous, and this is aqueous, and this is a liquid. Water is a liquid. Now let us balance it. Sodium hydroxide plus H2SO4. Now you need to balance water molecule first. See here 2H2O, H2 and OH, Na2SO4. So 2NaOH. Let me write 2 here, 2NaOH. So OH and OH, and here H2. So you got it as a 2H2O. Now next question is NaCl plus AgNO3 gives AgCl plus NaNO3. So let us balance this first. NaNO3, AgCl, it is already balanced. What you have to mention here is a physical states. Sodium chloride, it is a aqueous solution, and this also aqueous solution. This is a precipitate, so you will mention it as solid, and sodium nitrate is a aqueous solution. Now next is barium chloride. Barium chloride combines with sulfuric acid to form barium sulfate and HCl. Here you see there are 2 hydrogen and 2 chlorine atoms on the reactant side. So make it equal on both the sides. Now it is a balanced. Now next question of this session, write the balanced equation for the reactions. So calcium hydroxide. So let us take the pen and start balancing it. So calcium hydroxide, CaOH whole twice plus carbon dioxide gives calcium carbonate plus water. Now water is a liquid, calcium carbonate is a precipitate, carbon dioxide is a gas, and calcium hydroxide is aqueous solution. So CaOH whole twice, CO3. OH and OH, you will write it here. OH and OH. One H2 and one O is remaining. That will combine with CO2 to form CO3. H2, it is already balanced now. Next is zinc plus silver nitrate. So how to write silver nitrate? AgNO3. That forms zinc nitrate NO3 whole twice plus silver. Now, how to balance this? I already told you, you have to make the number of atoms equal on both the sides. So, Ag also becomes a 2. Here, look at this. Zinc is a metal, so solid. AgNO3 is a solution, so you will write it as a AQ. And zinc nitrate, again a solution, and silver is a metal, so solid. Now aluminium Al plus copper chloride CuCl2 gives aluminium chloride AlCl3 plus Cu. Copper is a solid, aluminium is a solid, copper chloride is a solution, so Aq. And let us balance this. Chlorine has become 3 here and here 2, so make it 6 on both the sides. Then Cu becomes 3 and aluminium becomes 2. So this is how you have to balance it. Now barium chloride BaCl2 plus potassium sulfate K2SO4 gives BaSO4 plus potassium chloride. So potassium has become 2. So let us write it. Chlorine also has become 2. So now it is a balance. Barium chloride is a solution. Potassium sulfate is a solution. Barium sulfate is a precipitate. Potassium chloride is a solution. So ending our session. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please subscribe to my channel.